500 miles are about to begin, but the race is already half over. The fans that crowd the Daytona International Speedway do not know this. They think this is the beginning of a giant contest. They are wrong. If you are going to win, this is the moment you must be halfway to Victory Circle. The long, long road to victory might trace its beginnings to a rough country road in Carolina. Although the Daytona race won't run for a month yet, Mr. Lee Petty acts as if he's already late for his appointment. If you ask the NASCAR champion, he'd probably tell you he was late. There's so much to do. In 1 year, Lee Petty has won purses of more than $40,000, mostly by being ready. The work of preparing for the new season goes on in a modern garage hidden away behind his North Carolina home. Lee Petty makes his living building and driving race cars. They must stand up through 15 or 20 races that age a car 6 years in 6 months. Long before the season opens, Petty, working with his son Richard, must prepare to run those races with only minor overhaul and repair. Together, father and son build their cars and build them well. Between them is the constant unspoken question: what did we forget? What can we do better? Last year, Lee Petty won the 500-mile race at Daytona, and his average speed, 135 miles an hour. Yet he won with only a yard to spare. Remembering this, they check everything again. Now, let's go racing. With 47,000 fans looking on, the slow pace lap on the 2.5-mile Daytona Speedway begins. This slow lap brings the cars into position, ready for the flying start. Defending champion Lee Petty is in the 7th row of cars, his son right behind him. Positions they earned by qualification among the fastest. Ahead of the Pettys, in faster cars, are Cotton Owens, Jack Smith, Fireball Roberts, Bobby Johns, and Junior Johnson. The Pettys are driving twin blue Plymouths, but Pontiac, Thunderbird, Chevrolet, Dodge, Ford, Oldsmobile, and Buick are entered. The pace car ducks into the pit area. There's the green flag. They're racing. Fireball Roberts, a number 22 Pontiac, is half a mile an hour faster than the others and proves it, coming out of the first and second turns. He plants his foot on the floor, booming down the backstretch. Jack Smith, number 47, and Cotton Owens, number 6, right behind, keeping him honest. Let's see who can run hard, longest. The front runners are sorted out. Lee Petty moves into 8th place. His son is 10th. End of 1 lap. Official, 147.5 miles an hour. The field is spread out. A howling pack a mile long. Challengers begin to move through traffic. Jack Smith up from position 2, fighting for the lead. Roberts cuts a lap in 59 seconds to hold first place. That is 152 miles an hour. This is going to be an interesting 500 miles. Backstretch speed touches 167 miles an hour. And trouble starts fast. Four cars slide all over the track, and only luck keeps more of them out of danger. Caution signals slow the field. A year ago, the 500-mile race was run without caution signals. Now, after 8 laps, drivers may already be on the ragged edge of control. The track is clear. Throttles down to the floor. Jack Smith's Pontiac is moving at 153 miles an hour. Roberts drops back to third. Jack Smith, the leader, in a furious battle with Junior Johnson. The leaders are going wild with speed, but the Pettys hold back, 18 seconds behind. It's a hard way to race, letting the others run away from you, waiting for the mistakes they may not make. Cotton Owens blows a tire. This is the first major mistake, a blown tire by a front runner. The caution signal warns all cars to reduce speed, and the pit stops begin. Fireball Roberts and Jack Smith roar down the pit road. The tremendous speed is wearing down machinery and rubber at a terrific rate. While in the pits, Jack Smith's crew discover broken wheel lugs. Smith mechanic Bud Moore works frantically to get that car running again. Smith is paying for those 153-mile-an-hour laps. Mistake number 2. Fireball Roberts is passing the time of day in his pits. He's backing up, maneuvering number 22 behind the pit wall for repairs. With Owens, Smith, and Roberts in trouble, Junior Johnson takes position 1, but must refuel. With the leaders pitting, position 1 goes to Lee Petty, and a few seconds behind, Richard Petty takes second place. Junior Johnson changing tires. This takes time, and time is one thing nobody has to spare. Mistake number 4. Long after the other drivers have pitted, Lee Petty drops out of first place for fuel and a tire check. Richard Petty grabs the lead. The Petty pit crew is headed by younger son Morris, and as soon as the crew is done with Lee, they signal Richard to a refueling stop. Richard rolls in, calm as any veteran. Gets an okay on his tires, a full load of gas. Then, he's away. The Petty crew runs off 2 pit stops like clockwork. Richard is out of the pit road, searching for the leaders. No mistakes yet. The Petty team settles down to a planned race, hoping their strategy will pay off. 2 early leaders, Cotton Owens and Jack Smith, are hopelessly behind after long pit stops. Roberts, who drove the fastest car in the race, is out. Junior Johnson is running fast, willing to gamble on extra pit stops. He and Bobby Johns are real threats. The running is fast, monotonous, difficult, and at any moment can explode into trouble. The driver, George Green, steers off the track, a cool head in a hot situation. He's getting out. He's all right. A broken fuel tank caught fire, and there's no stopping that blaze now. The driver, Green, is a member of the armed forces who flew from Germany just for this race. He can take an early plane back and still count himself lucky. The race is slowed as flames gut the car. When the green flag signals for high speed, Junior Johnson pours it on in first place. Lee Petty is second. Richard Petty third. Bobby Johns fourth. At 300 miles, 25 cars are out of the race. Blown engines, oil leaks, steering trouble, burned clutch, broken axle, and wrecks. Number 25 snags the guardrail on the backstretch and literally explodes. Caught by flying metal, Pappy Crane and Chevrolet number 58 spins out and rolls. Crane is all right, but Tom Herbert is injured and must be helped from the wrecked Thunderbird. The engine of his car was thrown 25 feet. While the track is blocked, another set of pit stops turns positions inside out. Junior Johnson changes tires again as Lee Petty roars in. Before the caution signal, it was anybody's race. 4 cars running together within half a minute of each other and 100 miles to run. Then, the mistake that can lose a race. Lee Petty, thinking the OK sign means his refueling is completed, roars away from the pits with only half a tank of gas. While Lee circles the track getting back to speed, Richard Petty makes his stop. Taking a calculated risk, 1 tire is changed while the car is refueled. And in the time it takes, Bobby Johns grabs the lead. Richard is out of the pits, and the crew call Lee back for that extra 10 gallons of gas that will carry him across the finish line. Slowing down again takes time. Enough time to drop the defending champion to 4th position. Johns in number 3 has been playing the waiting game along with Lee and Richard Petty. Running among the first 10, Johns slowly improved his position as the other front runners burned themselves out. Another car that can still run hard, Junior Johnson, car number 27, now is second. The Petty team is running 3rd and 4th, with Richard leading his father by 1 second. Their strategy broken by 1 small mistake each. The Pettys are running full bore, straining for top speed. There goes the leader, Bobby Johns, blasting into the first turn. Only 9 laps to go. And he's spinning! He's holding it! No, he's into the infield! And he recovers! He's back in the race. Coming out of the second turn, the rear window on number 3 tore out, and the rush of air lifted the rear wheels off the track. Johns was driving on ice at 152 miles an hour. Junior Johnson grabs first place. Bobby Johns, after his amazing recovery, is still second. There's the white flag. 1 more lap. Junior Johnson Chevrolet is first under that flag. Johnson is coming around for the last time. The checkered flag for Junior Johnson. Bobby Johns is next. And only 26 seconds later, Richard and Lee Petty cross the line in 3rd and 4th position. Junior Johnson wheeling his Chevrolet to victory circle after a great ride. Johnson was never lower than 5th position and threatened the leaders the entire distance. When Bobby Johns' rear window blew out, Johnson was only 6 seconds behind, both cars running 151 miles an hour. He beat the position 2 car by only 3 seconds, a 3-second margin after 4 hours of racing. Stock car racing, then, is not a daredevil risk and a wild adventure. Victory is a matter of cool thinking, a quick set of reflexes, and good equipment, which can stand incredible punishment. This is proven again and again during a racing season, but nowhere more forcefully than on the big tracks in the big races.